And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes, and it is time to talk about the market in NBA 2K22, my team. You know, I used to only do one market video a week. Those were the good days. Now I'm doing two. Shout out to 2K with their little SWISH packs. So let's talk about those specifically. By the way, if you haven't already, I mean, definitely get to work on the Hoff Intimidator badge. You know, it's cool. It could come into clutch, especially if you have like a point guard that you really like that would need some defensive badges. You know, go right ahead. It is what it is. We also got a Hero Zion Part 4. By the way, I firmly believe that the Hero Zion stuff is going to lead to some sort of card at some point. I just feel like they're giving us all these Hero Zion parts. It has to lead to something. It has to lead to some sort of unlockable or some sort of reward. So I would get on that if you haven't already. That's just a theory. I mean, who knows? Worst case scenario, I'm just wrong and you got a bunch of XP, right? Suck it up. It's not the end of the world, really. So we got the Swish equal chance packs. I only opened one of the equal chance packs because I just don't find them to be worth it. But we got some good cards in there, and obviously Kobe and Giannis and Steph and all them are in there as well. A lot of people are going to be opening these packs. Dwayne Wade looks to be very good, so I'm sure that'll entice at least a decent portion of people to open packs, but it is what it is. Kyle Korver might actually legitimately be the best card in this set. Like, I'm dead serious. I was going to do a gameplay video of Kyle Korver, but I figured I'd just tackle it in the market video. Paul Pierce is pretty good. George Mikan, he's pretty good. Like, I don't know. I've seen some people really hype George Mikan, but like, I don't believe that level of hype is really well deserved. And then Chris Birdman Anderson. Just like, you know, was anyone really excited for that? I don't think so, but maybe I'm incorrect. Pack odds are terrible. As you're about to see, I'm going to get 2 gold dynamic ratings players. Don't you love it when things come true? Don't you just love that? All right. Well, there goes 10,000 MT. All right. Well, that was a waste of time. Now let's actually look at the cards, though, and kind of go from there and just review them a little bit. So we'll start with Chris Birdman Anderson. He's like 3,000 MT. Literally. He might even be cheaper. He might be 2,000. I don't know. What does he quick sell for? Quick sells for 2,000. So at the absolute minimum, you're going to get him for 2,250, right? Whatever. That's a pretty good price for him. I mean, he's not bad. Like 6'10", like he went to Blinn College, which is sick. I have no idea where that is. Obviously, it's in Texas, but I've never heard of it before. It's pretty tight. He's essentially a Nate Thurman clone that can't dribble. He's got the same jump shot and everything. Everything's pretty much the same there. I mean, Nate Thurman is significantly better in literally every single regard. But as far as the card itself, it's basically a non-dribbling Nate Thurman, which is kind of pointless because the only reason people like Nate Thurman is because he can dribble. But it is what it is. If you're looking for a super, super extreme budget center, you could do a lot worse than Chris Anderson. He's actually pretty good. He's basically Larry Sanders with better jumper, basically, is what it is. Like, he's got a more clean release than Larry Sanders. Larry Sanders obviously has that shot 17 on very quick, which some people hate. I personally don't mind, but I understand it's not the greatest. Chris Anderson is basically Larry Sanders with a better jumper. I stand firm on that. Catch and shoot, corner specialist, rim protector, clamps, intimidator, rebound chaser, like rise up. He's got Hoff limitless, downhill, quick first step. He can't handle the ball at all, so don't get too giddy about this. But Deadeye, sniper, menace. I mean, he's going to be a straight 3-and-D center. And I mean, if that's what you're looking for, especially if you're trying to tackle domination or just play for fun and you don't have a whole lot of MT to work with, like, you could do so much worse than Chris Anderson. I know I say that phrase a lot, but I truly do mean it. In this game, I really do. You could do worse. You could always do worse. Chris Anderson's pretty good. Like, he's all right. Then we got George Mikan. Yeah, big Mikan out here, dude, looking like an accountant ready to hoop. I love looking at George Mikan because when people say that, like, Michael Jordan played against plumbers, like, this is what they're thinking the league looked like in 1995 for some reason. George Mikan's good. I mean, he's 6'10". He can move. He's just not the greatest movement-wise. Being that he's 240, right? Like, which is pretty stocky. It's pretty thick, right? Jump shot 4, really solid. I did a whole gameplay video on George Mikan. Well, it's more of a card review, but, you know, go watch that if you haven't already. I said some things. He's pretty good. For his price, which is not very expensive, about, you know, 10K or less realistically. Like, he's definitely worth that price, especially if you're trying to build a semi-competitive squad for really, really cheap. George Mikan's good at both of his positions too, which is typically pretty rare for out of position cards. Obviously, unless they're like shooting guard, small forward, like Giannis's and stuff, then yeah, they're fine at both positions. But when it comes to like radically different positions like this, where it's like shooting guard or point guard and then like center or power forward, typically one is significantly better than the others. I said better than the others, better than the others. But George Mikan, I think, is actually equally solid at both positions. It'd be better if he could play power forward, personally. I think that's where he would shine the most. But he's decent at center, just a little bit undersized, and he's decent at shooting guard. He's just a little bit sluggish. That's it. Like, other than that, he's solid. Jaden McDaniels, who I kind of forgot about because you can only get him out of a locker code, which Y2K insists on putting the tokens in the locker code. Like, dude, do you guys really not want us to have a pack that bad? I'm probably just going to pull, like, gold dynamic ratings Jaden McDaniels. Like, why do you not want me to have the pack that bad? Like, it's infuriating, truly, that they just refuse to give us guaranteed packs out of locker codes. But whatever, what am I gonna do? It's difficult, but I mean, if you get the card's not bad. Like, 6'9", he looks a little bit bigger than that. He's a little skinny at 185, so he can kind of move, like, actually a lot better than you would expect him to be honest. He's decent. Jump shot 75, which is the Jaylen Brown Siakam release, which it's not top tier, but it's not terrible. And like, Jaden McDaniels plays very solid defense. He's gonna obviously shoot threes, like attack the rim. He's very good. Like, he's much better than Dell and Seth Curry that we got last week. I can say that for sure. Quick dribble style, Wiggins behind the back, which apparently everyone's getting now at this point, which it's like, whatever, dude. I'm cool with the parity in regards to dribble sigs, but I just really don't like Wiggins behind the back. I'm starting to like Kyrie's behind the back only because I'm being forced to, because I spent $1.4 million on T-Mac, so I have no choice. But only for them to probably come out with a T-Mac with like Scottie Pippen behind the back in like 2 weeks and out of position set. But you know what? These are the dice rolls that this looks like I'm tugging or doing a shake weight. These are the dice rolls that you engage in when you buy cards in 2K. You just have to expect sooner rather than later a better version or a version more suited to your playstyle is going to come out. Now, I don't believe that's the case for Jaden McDaniels. So if you're a big Jaden McDaniels fan, definitely go pick this card up because he's definitely the best Jaden McDaniels we're getting for a minute. Paul Pierce. Oh, the truth. Okay. Now, look, if you're on current gen, it's not really worth picking him up. I'll be the first to say that. The Paul Pierce release isn't the greatest, especially if you're playing him at small forward. You absolutely should not be picking him up. But at point guard, it's not terrible. I mean, we've all used Cole Anthony this year, and it's really not a bad release to run at the point. The key is Paul Pierce worth running at the point? And I would say for the price he's going for right now, there's just so many better options for right around the same price that you could pick up. On next gen, though, I personally think he's incredible on next gen. I do. The release isn't as good as Carmelo Anthony base. It's not, but it's close. Like, it's not that far off. And honestly, he's basically an invincible card, like with his stats, you know. The badge count's right. I mean, on next gen, the card is really, really good, and he's probably a top small forward under 100K, to be completely honest with you. Not like the top, but he's like top 10, I would say. If you're a big Boston fan or you're a big Paul Pierce fan, first off, I hate Boston, so I just wanted to say that real quick. Shout out to Peyton Pritchard, though, for sure. I mean, he's worth picking up, but for everybody else, no. Kyle Korver, dude. All right, ignore the fact that Kyle Korver looks like he's from like a 2007 Rise Records band called like Capture the Sunrise or something else that's super generic and they have like techno breakdowns or whatever. Just ignore that, because Kyle Korver can hoop, dude. 6'7", 212. Like, he has a big player build. Like, Kyle Korver looks bigger than 6'7". He looks like he's probably 6'8", 6'9". Anyone who's played with him definitely can say the same thing. Quick dribble style. He's got Bibby's signature size up, which is really interesting because I just feel like outside of Tatum, they really haven't given that to anyone, so it's just a weird choice, honestly. Trae Young's escape, which people really, really like. Obviously, it's on Fernando Martin, Michael Finley, Michael Jordan. Cards that people generally rank pretty high, you know. Pippen's behind the back. I mean, he has near immaculate dribble moves. Like, Korver can move better than a vast majority of the cards in this game period, which is absurd because he's Kyle Korver. Obviously he's going to have every single shooting badge in the game. He's got jump shot 17 on very quick, which I personally believe is the easiest to green release in this entire game. Obviously people are going to say Luke is base, but I don't believe that to be true. That's just the easiest to green while contested. And MJ's release, which people are going to say as well, but I personally really like jump shot 17. I mean, even going back to like Havlicek. I mean, when Havlicek first came out, people were like, what's going on? Why is his release so fire? Even back to day one with Gus Garrard, this release is top tier. Like, they haven't been giving it to cards. That's the issue. The last card that we've gotten that had it was Caruso or Kyle Korver himself. I think it was Caruso though. But I mean, he can dribble, he can shoot, he can defend, he can dunk. This Kyle Korver does literally everything. This card is probably the best card that got released today. I'm dead serious. I would say Dwayne Wade, but there's so many good point guards. Like, Dwayne Wade's not usurping anyone's squad. Like, he's not knocking Luka or I was going to say Magic, but Michael Jordan off anyone's like God squad. But Kyle Korver might actually give some shooting guards a run for their money. That's really the only issue, though, is he plays the wing, which there's just so many of them. There is so many. Kemba Walker, I mean, if you get him for free, cool, but he's Kemba Walker. Like, he's all right. He's decent, but there's so many better little point guards that you can run. I mean, he's 6 foot. Like, there's just better little point guards. Get Steph Curry. Honestly, even get Baron Davis. I think Baron Davis is better personally. Use the tokens on Oscar Robertson if you got him. Like, Drew Holiday's free. He's probably better. Mike Conley is actually pretty good. Shout out to Mike Conley. If you have Markelle Fultz is better. Like, honestly, this D'Lo might be better, It's just not worth it. Marbury might be better. Not saying that as a shot to Marbury, but like, And then there's Hero Dwayne Wade. Hero Dwayne Wade is very good. I mean, he's just a slightly more upscale version of the Bracket Busters. Well, Power Within technically, but the Bracket Busters one. I mean, there's really not a whole lot of difference here. Obviously, increased stats, increased badge count. But once again, like I said, him and the Invincible one, I really don't think he's taken the place of any of those high-tier point guards on people's lineups. So it's going to keep his price down for that reason, That he's not bad. Obviously, it's Dwayne Wade. I mean, yeah, he gets his salad tossed by his wife, but like, we don't kink shame here. It's all good. And you may be tired of hearing me say that, but people don't know about that interview, which is like, it's not one of those things where I'm judging Dwayne Wade. I'm just very surprised. He doesn't look like a tossed salad kind of guy. You know what I mean? He doesn't. Like, if you told me Chris Bosh's wife tossed a salad, I'd be like, yeah, of course. But like Dwayne Wade, that kind of shocked me. It shocked me. It still does, honestly. Looking at the other cards, I mean, like the hero cards, I don't think we're going to see too much of a drop. I mean, these pack odds were pretty terrible. I don't think Giannis is going to really drop too much. Kobe will be, I think, the first buyout of these like first wave of hero cards because he's good, but there's so many good 2 guards that I don't think a lot of people are going to hold on to Kobe for too much. Like, I don't. Garnett's okay too. Yeah, he might drop. Garnett wasn't in this set. Well, that's because he was still in packs. Steph is really cheap, and Steph's still like one of the better point guards in this game. I'm dead serious. He's ridiculous, especially on next gen, like straight up. Oh yeah, and then LeBron Brown. I forgot about LeBron Brown. All these hero cards are going to stay around somewhere between 50 and 150K for the most part. I mean, Giannis is going to be the exception because he's Giannis. You know what I mean? So he'll probably be around 250 for a while, and then he'll get knocked down by super packs at some point. Not a whole lot, but just enough that it'll make a bit of a dent, Also, if you haven't already, we got our playoff cards, which is pretty cool, I suppose. Where are my moments at? So we got Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard. All right, we'll start with Peyton Pritchard. I'm not able to look at the card, but don't worry, I'm on the database for you. 6'1", 6'4" wingspan, not very good. He's got base 112, which is only him and DeAndre Ayton have it. Oh, and sorry, Miles McBride. I apologize, because I'm sure he's watching. Yeah, really interesting release. I personally haven't gotten a chance to use it on very quick because I don't have the card yet. But once I do, I will let you guys know if it's a top tier release. I'm not sure. His dribble moves are horrendous. They basically give him a bunch of stock dribble moves, which kind of sucks. Peyton Pritchard's not all that good, let's be real. Then we got Jaylen Brown. Look, if once you played with one Jaylen Brown, you played with them all. He's just a slightly better version of the Opal we got last season. I'm not going to go into too much detail on him. Like, you know what's up at this point. Then we got Derek White, who was another card that we haven't seen thus far, and I mean, he's all right. He's got base 28, same as like Brunson, JJ Redick, Del Curry. For older guys like Moncrief, Wang, Vinny. So it's a good release. Like good dribble moves as well. I mean, this card's like going to be one of those like kind of fun cards to use, but I don't think it's like particularly meta. Then we got Wiggins. Wiggins is just a slightly better version of his Pink Diamond that we just received last season. So keep with the trend. And then we got Kuminga, who once again is just a slightly better version of the Pink Diamond we just received. Like Giannis on very quick, same dribble moves for the most part, like slightly increased badges. That's about it though. He's not all that different. Like I'll combine the two real quick and see what's going on, but I really don't think there's that much of a difference. All right, where's original cum bucket at? All right. So I mean it's a 17 badge, like a Hoff badge difference. So like know that the badges are going to be a massive difference for sure. And there's one additional hot zone. Cool. But as far as stats go, almost no difference aside from the post, right? Like Dark Matter, Kuminga plays better in the post. He's a little bit faster and he's a little bit better of a defender, but it doesn't really mean anything, you know? He goes from like 92 to 97, you know, like whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the badge count that's going to be huge. Obviously, he gets like Hoff Limitless Spot Up, like Hoff Sniper, Gold Clutch Shooter, Gold Lucky number 7. Still doesn't have Chef because, of course not. He gets like Hoff Handles, Hoff Quick Chain instead of Gold. Giant Slayer, Grace Under Pressure, like a few different gold badges. Most of them are going to be defensive badges, though. Like, he's going to get an absurd amount of defensive badges, which means he's going to be a premier 3-and-D card. I mean, he was already a really good 3-and-D card as is, but this is just going to make him a little bit better, honestly. The tendencies are basically they're the exact same. Like, they're the exact same. Either way, it's been your boy Cheap Ludes, man. Let me know what you think of the drop today down in the comments below. And I'm not gonna post anything additionally tonight, but I am gonna repost some old simulations that I did from back in 2K20 just because I want to see what the reaction is. I want to start doing some sims occasionally, so you know, let me know, critique me. I would welcome it. Be nice though, dude. I'm a fragile creature.